Hi, welcome to Rappler Talk. Today we're here with Filipino teen tennis sensation Alex Eala, who is the first Filipina in history to appear in the semifinals of a junior Grand Slam. She is now here to talk about her incredible run in the 2020 French Open and her plans in pursuing women's tournaments. So, hi Alex, how are you feeling right now?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really happy and to be back at the academy. I'm a bit tired because of the trip, but happy. I'm happy.
Yes, you did make it to your career semifinals also in a Grand Slam. So, where does this Roland Garros rank in your other Grand Slam experiences?
Well, this is definitely one that really stands out to me. It's the best. It's the best result I've gotten in terms of Grand Slam and in singles, and it's one to remember for a number of reasons, for COVID, for um, the results, and for everything else.
Yeah, and of course, you did face the eventual champion then, so I'm sure that was also difficult. And what can you learn from that match naman? See Elsa Jacquemot, she had a home court advantage as well.
Well, she's a really good player, a lot of experience, and she's also a bit older than me. Um, I didn't expect anything less of what she put out. I I've known her I've heard of her before, a lot before, um, and I didn't think it was gonna be easy. But I'm really happy with how far I got in the tournament, and I did try everything I could.
Yeah. Did you have any expectations before going into this tournament?
Um, to be honest, I didn't really have any expectations. I tried not to put any expectations because I haven't really been able to compete a lot since March. It's only my second tournament since then. Um, so I just tried to go in with the right mindset and the right energy.
Hmm. Yeah, you did tell me that you only played in around two major tournaments before coming into the 2020 French Open. When did you guys decide to play in, to head to France to play in the Roland Garros?
Well, before all of this happened, Corona, we were already planning to go to Roland Garros because it's big slam and for points. But as soon as we were able to find out that it wasn't getting cancelled, and we did have a big chance of being able to go to France, then of course we signed in and the flight.
I see. And then how did you prepare for the tournament? Was it like did you have enough time naman in your opinion or not really? It was just like you just wanted to play in a slam.
Yes, I think I definitely had enough time. I had a lot of time during during the quarantine and the past few months of being here. I've been training on clay a lot and focusing on a lot of specifics in my game.
Yeah. And how are you liking the clay surface?
Um, I mean, I do prefer hard over clay, but it's not something that I really think about during the matches. And it's not like a big deal whether I'm playing on clay or playing on hard. It's just another tournament.
I see. And you did tell me also you were quite nervous before the matches, but then we did see in your games that kahit you were down 0-4, you were down by like a set, you were still able to catch up and get the win. So what were your keys to achieving those?
um, well, I think it's important that I know how to reset during a match, how to gather my thoughts and know what to do, and how to higher my intensity in any point of the match. There were a few matches in particular where I was very proud of how I handled some certain situations, and and the mindset I had.
Yeah. Like which one?
Um, well, like I remember the second match, second round. I was very nervous because not going into the match, not as much as when the third set started or when it was about to start because there was a rain delay and everything, and I can remember just being really nervous and really on edge that match.
Wow. So how was the weather like there? So did it really affect the games of a lot of tennis players in the tournament?
Well, last week the weather was really cold and it did rain a couple of times. But you can't really say anything about it because everyone plays under the same conditions and it's hard for everyone. It's not just for one person harder. Um, so, as a tennis player, you need to learn to deal with these things. And I think a lot of us that joined the tournament have already experienced a lot of rain delays and cold weather and things like that.
So do you think that this was one of the most challenging tournaments in terms of conditions?
In terms of weather and everything, I don't think so. I have been to a lot worse tournaments and I think the conditions in this tournament were really great considering that we are playing in an amazing venue and great service and everything.
Yeah. And I guess you've been in Spain for since February, right? Since the last time
I've been
you
in Spain since I think I'm not sure since February probably, yeah. I think I went home
yeah.
for 1 day and yeah. Um,
Yeah. So
yeah.
so so were you able to adjust to the climate there already? And was it similar to the ones in Paris?
I think yes, actually it's raining right now. But the weather is a bit similar. I think it's colder in Paris, but uh, it's almost the same. It wasn't a really big adjustment.
I see. And actually, I'm quite curious also. So, like, what do you think? What were the differences between, like, playing in the Roland Garros in 2018, or even like the earlier Grand Slam this year in the Australia Open to now, especially with the pandemic, and there's also like and the the climate was also delayed from summer to autumn and all that.
Well, it's definitely different. Even if there wasn't the pandemic, I feel like Roland Garros and the earlier Australian Open would have been different in their own ways. But now, obviously, there's a lot less spectators and a lot less fans in the venue. Um, but other than that, well, the rules also. But other than that, it wasn't that big of a deal for me.
Hmm. And even though you've only played in a few tournaments, but then this year in 2020 compared to 2019, but then, they were you you made it far into two major Grand Slams. How satisfied are you with where you are in achieving your goals?
Well, I'm very happy with my two results in the Grand Slams this year. Um, Obviously, I'm a bit disappointed that the other two weren't able to come through for juniors. But I can't, it's really out of my control, and I'm sure that a lot of the other juniors would have wanted that as well. Um, so I'm just going to look forward to my upcoming matches and continue to train.
Mm. You have the chance to become number one this year in the World Junior Circuit. So how will this benefit you in your future tournaments that you plan on joining?
Well, being top 10 alone already gives you a lot of benefits. When it comes to the pro circuit, they give you wild cards and chances to get into some pro tournaments. But I think for being number one, you get year-end number one, you get a lot of advantages. I think to higher tournaments in pros, maybe 80,000 or something like that. I'm not really sure. I haven't really looked into it yet, but it definitely gives you a lot of benefits.
Yeah. And you already had experience playing in a pro tournament. How was it like?
Well, I've only played a few, two, I think two or three, um, and they aren't the highest level pro tournaments yet. But I try to treat it like every other tournament I have. Same routine, same preparation. So yeah.
And will there be more in the coming months before 2020 ends?
Definitely, I'm already registered in two more tournaments for pros. I think in the next month or two. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. And I know that in Rafa Nadal Academy, you did say like the good thing about it is you were able to practice with you get to practice with so many players. So, who do you are you practicing with anyone in particular that's helping you improve right now?
In terms of players, I mean, I'm practicing with a lot of the girls here and sometimes with the boys. I also practice with the boys often, and my coaches are amazing, and I often train with Tony Nadal, who comes on court and coaches me and the other girls, alongside all of the other coaches which are amazing, and it really creates an amazing and like a healthy learning environment.
Wow, it seems like the Nadals are very hands-on in mentoring you guys. So were you able to train directly under Rafa also?
No, with Rafa, no, he doesn't coach the players, but he has hit with a few of the boys here. He hits with them quite often actually, and as I said, Tony Nadal also teaches a lot of the players here, almost all of them.
Your brother was able to hit with Rafa Nadal. I remember that.
Yeah, he was. He hit with him a few times actually, which is great experience for him.
Yeah. So, well, you and Nico have been representing the Philippines in Rafa Nadal Academy. So, what can the coaches say about Filipino tennis players or even Asian tennis players?
Well, you're gonna have to ask them. Well,
Or like, what are the praises that they give you guys?
praises it's like big word praises. I mean, they do try to highlight the things that we do well, the parts of our games that we do well, um, as well as focusing on the parts that need improving. And it's a good balance between the two.
Yeah. And by now, like maybe after the Australian Open and your the mix of women's and juniors tournaments and the French Open, what else do you want to improve in yourself?
Um, Well, for my tennis, there's a lot of things I need to improve. My fitness, my serve, movement, and a lot of other things. But yeah, I think that this was really an eye opener this past tournament. So we're definitely going to pay more attention to that.
Mm. It seems like you're not so focused on the world ranking also, like not putting pressure on yourself to rank number one. Like it's more of just improvement. And then so yun, like what do you have like some adjusted goals then after this tournament?
Well, in terms of ranking, junior rankings, I don't really have that many goals. I know that everyone in the top 10 and top 100 really have really close skill sets. And like as I said, for the last tournament, I haven't really had a chance to look at the points or calculate the points. I didn't really give that much importance to that. It was more of, taking it match by match, um, which I think is good for me.
Mm, yes. And then so you've been you've been in a very good environment also preparing for or improving yourself in general with your team, your coaches, and the academy. So, based on what you get from them, what do you think? What does it take to be one of like the best talaga in tennis?
Well, it takes a lot of, I think, dedication, and you really need to be self-demanding, and you really need to push yourself, and expect more from yourself, I feel. Um, and I am working on that. I am training very hard, and I'm doing everything I can. So hopefully, I see even better results.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us in this
you.
Rappler Talk, Alex. It's
Thank you
really
so much.
nice seeing you kahit online lang. Like, I
I
know.
know. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that is all for today's Rappler Talk. So I'm Beatrice Go again. So see you all.